In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, and really things don't look too different from the last few days. We do have a stronger signal of cooler air moving in the medium to long range, so we're going to be discussing that a lot. Obviously, like I mentioned yesterday, this cold is not really concerning. It's more of something to actually hope for, because it would bring us back into like the lower 80s, maybe upper 70s. Really beautiful weather for this time of year. The concerning part would be the cold front that brings that cold air in, where we're seeing a separation between much cooler and drier air and then much hotter and more humid air. And obviously that creates a lot of instability. Potential for thunderstorm development is sky high in those situations, and definitely severe weather would be a threat. So that is our main concern with that. We do have tropical concerns. We did see Barry develop yesterday, so we talked about that. That's already a post-tropical cyclone. But we do have chances of tropical development off the southeast coast and off the Gulf Coast, very close to Florida. So we're going to be discussing that again today, among other things throughout the upcoming pattern. So let's just dive into things. Here's the past 3 days, and as you can see, we do still have warmer anomalies that have popped up in here. A lot of these areas have been slightly above normal to near normal the last day or two. Obviously, we're coming out of a very severe heat wave, so it feels much cooler, but we're still pretty far above normal in these areas. It's just much cooler than it was. There are some cooler areas in the deep south. We're much closer to normal as opposed to just purely below normal. But the northeast here, as well as eastern Canada, parts of it at least, we do see pretty below normal temperatures. I mean, pretty confidently below normal temperatures here over the last 3 days. And then most of the west and central states have just been warmer than normal, similarly to these areas here. Looking at the upcoming temperatures, I mean, already as soon as today, what we see is a much warmer west, where there is a heat wave out here. We call this a positive PNA when the west looks like just orange in general. And this forces more neutral to below normal temperatures to move into the east. We can see a lot of the eastern seaboard here is above normal, but outside of that, we're either neutral or maybe even a little bit below normal for most of the east, again, outside of this mid-Atlantic and northeast area. As we keep moving forward, though, Tuesday the 1st, we're much cooler than normal in the east, still seeing that positive PNA out west. Wednesday, we revert back to a little bit of a warmer pattern, but again, when we see these light yellows and light blues, we are within a few degrees of normal, so this is very typical weather for this time of year. Thursday the 3rd, we do see the west cooling. So again, more of a neutral PNA to even below normal PNA. And we do see this heat blob kind of trying to spread eastward. So that could certainly bring about warmer times in the medium range. And we see by Friday, a lot of that is over the east and much cooler in the west. So we are flipping that pattern overall. Saturday the 5th here, much warmer in the east. Sunday as well, the 6th. This has potential to be another heat wave for us in the east. Monday the 7th as well here. You need 3 days over 90 in a row to be considered a heat wave, and I think we will be pretty close to that from the 4th through the 7th time frame-ish. But what we see happening after that 7th time frame is the warmth trying to make a comeback along that west coast again, ushering in another positive PNA pattern, which would basically push cooler air into the east here and force this warmth out. So let's see what happens over time. Tuesday, we see something happening near the Arctic, and this is why we call it an Arctic blast. Not because it's frigid, but because it is blasting from the Arctic. It's pretty straightforward. It's an Arctic air mass that is blasting in, and we do see that trying to make its move in a hurry. And this comes due to this positive PNA, so this is the cause, and this is the result here in the east that we're seeing. Let's look by Wednesday. It's really rushing in. Tuesday the 10th, we see a lot of these greens popping up. That's going to be 10 to 15 degrees below normal. That's considerable for many of these areas, pretty much all of them. This would mean 70s at least. So maybe even like room temperature conditions in mid-July. I mean, that's crazy stuff. Friday the 11th, very similar. Saturday the 12th, very similar, cooler in the east. Sunday the 13th moves more towards the deeper south. And then Monday the 14th here, we get these really cool temperatures in the eastern seaboard. I mean, this would be, for these areas, because this is deeper south, we're talking Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, This definitely means 70s for you guys if we saw something like this. Maybe even upper 60s in the higher elevations. That is crazy stuff for mid-July. Um, Keep in mind we are at the very end of the model run here. This is at hours 360. So this specific detail of these very, very cold temperatures compared to normal, at least in the east, would maybe be something that's very speculative. But the overall just cooler pattern for a few days there, multiple days at the end of the model run, is a little bit more legitimate and something that we actually have been paying attention to. So just to clarify there. Let's take a look at some of this storminess. We obviously see quite a bit of it daily, Monday the 30th here, as of today. It's really hard to rule out thunderstorms anywhere in the east. That is pretty standard for this time of year. There is some severe weather risks, which we will go over towards the end of the video. Tuesday, July 1st, tomorrow, we do see the eastern seaboard being an area to watch for pretty consistent thunderstorm activity there. We do see, as we move towards Wednesday the 2nd, a lot of that over the southeast, but we're starting to slow down overall in the east. Thursday the 3rd, and then finally Friday the 4th here, where we luckily end up with a much quieter pattern here in the east. So 4th of July conditions are going to be much better than the days before it, like the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. We do see the central states kind of being the main area of concern, that there might be some interferences with fireworks shows. But the western areas, as they've kind of already been, much drier here. So definitely looking pretty clear for those firework displays. As we move towards Saturday here, on the 5th, we do see that low over south central Canada. We see a cold front kind of stretching down. So maybe going to be our next severe weather concern here, Saturday the 5th. Sunday the 6th, that does move up into the kind of northeastern regions of Canada. Still some thunderstorms left over from what was that cold front. As we move towards Monday on the 7th, some thunderstorm activity there still in the plains and upper Midwest. Tuesday the 8th starts to move down into the eastern states. Wednesday the 9th here, this is the look. We have a strong low here. This is as that kind of Arctic air mass is trying to move in. So we have a stretching cold front right here. And we can see lots of thunderstorms around that boundary. Again, between the cold, dry air and that hot, humid air. Definitely violent thunderstorms would be prevalent, and a severe weather risk would be inherent. Thursday the 10th, that mostly moves out, and we end up with a quieter pattern. I mean, Friday the 11th, there is some thunderstorms around. Saturday the 12th as well, especially the further southeast you go. Sunday the 13th, same thing. And even as we move towards the end of the model run on the 15th here. This is why we probably won't only see one tropical threat in this area, maybe 2 or 3 over the next few weeks, because there's consistent instability in these areas, lots of thunderstorm activity, and any of this can really pop off and just become a tropical cyclone, especially when we're dealing with a little bit more of a trough in the east. The flow would be much more towards the north, which is going to be encouraging for tropical activity. And this is a very standard setup for tropical activity early in the season, like June, July. We noted that yesterday a lot. Total precipitation here, we do see a lot here over the southeast, and really decent amounts for most everywhere else in the east and in the plains. So let's look at those anomalies. And again, there is some below average areas, but these are within ½ an inch of average, so it's not really that bad. The main above average areas will be the southern plains here, and then again that southeast corridor with lots of moisture moving up, maybe even a tropical cyclone in there at some point. Looking at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, here's day 1. As you can see, in the lighter greens, we have a general thunderstorm risk, and that's where we expect general thunderstorms, not severe weather, but anything is possible. It's really, really tricky to forecast these, so heed every watch, warning, and advisory. In the darker green area, we have a level 1 marginal risk and expect isolated severe weather. And then within the yellow area there, we have a level 2 slight risk and expect scattered about severe weather to occur. That's for today. Let's move towards tomorrow on Tuesday the 1st, and we see mostly we have a general thunderstorm risk kind of everywhere, but the eastern seaboard here is where we have a marginal risk and even a slight risk there over the heart of the mid-Atlantic. Finally, by day 3, Wednesday the 2nd, we don't have any marginal risks. We don't have any slight risks. We just have a very, very large general thunderstorm risk. And you can pretty much bet on some sort of upgrade in here somewhere. There will probably be a marginal risk for Wednesday somewhere at least. So We'll just have to get closer and find out what's going to happen with that. And finally, let's move into the tropics, where again, we do have post-tropical cyclone Barry. We also have this area still set up over kind of your northeastern Gulf and then your southeast offshore coast there. There is a 0% chance of development over the next 48 hours, but still, same as yesterday, a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days. And we're going to continue to watch this area, especially in the more medium range, days 5, 6, 7 for potential development. And like I said, this might not be the only one like this upcoming because there's a lot of instability moving towards this area. So we're going to continue to monitor this situation and update you guys daily. Speaking of daily, we upload every single day, so be sure to subscribe. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.